Okay, so now we're moving on to the nostalgia zone,
Right.
also known as the Sony E3 conference.
Right. Yeah.
I will remind everyone that one of the announcements gets moved to the Squeenix conference discussion.
Okay.
Also, this is the one conference where someone speaking in response to uncertain applause said, "Yes, that is an applause line," which is something you should never say in public speech.
No. That was not cool. I remember thinking that when I saw it. I was like, really? Like, but I guess, if we're moving that trailer over to Squeenix, then this one isn't really that exciting. Then there's a couple.
Well, okay. So we got a few things. Do you have a strong relationship to Ico or Shadow of the Colossus?
Yes.
Okay.
Shadow of the Colossus is an excellent game.
And then how do you feel about Last Guardian?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. That's kind of like, yeah. That's like, okay. This is a. I mean, I have feelings for this demo, but I don't know what relationship the demo is going to have to the final product.
Well, I just think this is. It of course, it looks like it could be a transcendent sort of artistic experience, just like Ico and Shadow of the Colossus are. I don't know. We've been hearing about it for so long. You know, like how long has it been? Like, has it been more than 10 years? Am I making that up?
I thought it's been going on since like '08 or '09 or something.
Right. So it's been like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Like. I don't know. I believe it when I see it. Yeah. It's cool though. It was a cool trailer.
It was a cool trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would say, you know, aside from the trips to Nostalgia Land, I was really impressed by the Horizon Zero Dawn trailer. Now they should just call the game Zero Dawn and drop Horizon because I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
Right.
But the fact that you got like this cool lady and she's like kicking around and like using like explosives and ripping guns off robot dinosaurs and killing the robot dinosaurs and it's post-apocalyptic and everything. Right. Like this is the only game that I looked at during this conference and said, you know, you're not on PC, you're not on like Wii U or 3DS, and you would maybe make me interested in buying a console that wasn't something I already have.
Right, yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, because it was the only thing that really felt fresh. Like, it looked great. The playable demo looked fine. So, like, I mean...
I'd be interested in the other kinds of, like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if I didn't read too much more about this game. Do you know if this is a like, narrative experience where we'll be playing as this lady character, or do we make a character...
My understanding is that this is probably a narrative experience because the guys who are making this game, my understanding is the studio that previously made the Killzone games, and those were narrative-driven games.
Right. Okay. Well, then I'm still interested because it just looks interesting and unique. But I was like, okay, I'd like to see more of the sorts of gameplay you'll be doing because it just didn't like. I really like the idea. I really like the look. I really like the setting. I just wasn't sold on the gameplay. This is, again, another one where I feel like I would be more interested in seeing other kinds of, like I guess it just feels weird for me to be saying, like, oh, a bow is more interesting to me than a gun, because it's effectively the same thing. But I just was, I liked the Horizon trailer. I liked the gameplay that we saw. I just hope that there's more to it.
Sure. So, you know, Street Fighter V looks really cool. I have an unfortunate relationship with fighting games where I love watching them, but I never put in the time to sit down and actually learn them and actually play them. How do you feel about Street Fighter V?
I'm very excited about Street Fighter V. Okay, so on that note, while we're going to talk about it here, I guess I'll say that, I also like watching professional fighting game play, but I do play a bit myself. Very amateur. I am really not consistent in any way at all. And I've played Marvel 3, I've played Guilty Gear, I've played BlazBlue. I know that's not how it's pronounced. Street Fighter 4, I've played a lot of Street Fighter 4. I'm not good at it. I really enjoy playing Oni from Ultra, and in any case, Street Fighter V, I really like the look. I was really kind of hoping they'd go the route of Guilty Gear and go for more of a sprite look, but that's fine. I've watched a bit of Street Fighter V play now, and I really like the pace of it. It looks more. I really like the damage. The damage looks really like decisive in Street Fighter V. I really like Nash, and in fact, the design of every character looks really great, and the modeling looks really great.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm interested in is will Street Fighter V just take the place of Street Fighter 4 when it comes out? You know, like Street Fighter 4 has such an established, you know, like scene now, and I just wonder if like does Street Fighter 4, does that play just stop now? You know, do the people who put time into Street Fighter 4, do they just move on to Street Fighter 5, like all of them? I'm interested in that. But
yeah.
for the game, you know, at this stage, it looks good, and I'll be excited for when we're talking about this instead of Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think that game is already effing itself over because the pro players are getting annoyed by how often and irregularly the game is being patched. But that's a different discussion.
Right.
But yeah, no, I would agree, and I think, you know, I think a Street Fighter 4 fandom and interest will, you know, in the same way that Super Turbo and Third Strike have stuck around, I'm sure we'll see Ultra for a while. You know, maybe not at the forefront of the Capcom Pro Tour, but it'll be there.
All right. But then, yeah, with 5, it's cool to see Cammy. Birdie, I've never played Alpha, so I don't know that much about Birdie. My relationship with Birdie has more to do with like the comics than the games. But you know, that's cool. I like Cammy. Cammy's cool. K-Brad. I hope K-Brad wrecks this game since, you know.
My boy K-Brad.
Yeah, exactly.
He is so esports. Damn.
Damn.
Okay, so No Man's Sky still looks good. I'm just concerned about, because I mean, to me, obviously they're trumping up to the exploration, and so for a small studio to be doing this kind of game and to bank it so much on procedural exploration, I think the question becomes, you know, how deep is that actually going to take you? You know, because there are procedurally generated games which do have great depth. I mean, I know you were kind of not interested in Minecraft, but Minecraft to me is an example of a procedurally generated sandbox exploration game that people love the shit out of.
Right.
So is No Man's Sky going to be space Minecraft or whatever? Like, in that case, I think you're going to find it's going to have a following. And so we just have to see, you know, how it turns out.
Right. I guess, like, yeah, I mean, I feel like it was essentially the same sort of stuff that we've seen already. So yeah, I would agree with what you just said. Really, just we'll see what the studio can churn out. I don't know if I'm interested in this sort of thing. I'm a very narrative-driven guy, you know, and I'm not sure I'm interested in this sort of game that is more touting that sort of experience over a narrative-driven one.
Yeah, yeah. So for the next thing, they talked for a period of time about this make your own stuff platform called Dreams, and I don't really believe that these things can. Okay. Can you help me out for a second here?
Sure.
Last year, when we discussed E3, wasn't there didn't like Sony or Microsoft or someone have some kind of like make your own game sort of like platform?
I don't remember, other than what was it called? No, I don't remember.
There wasn't there? Okay, I could have sworn there was like some like, oh, you'll be able to make your own games and share them.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know. It doesn't work. It never works. We will not see this ever again.
Right. So what's next? There's so much of the same stuff.
Yeah, Firewatch I think looks really interesting. It looks like it has a great artistic look, and it's very narrative driven, first person game.
Yeah, that one I was curious about.
I look forward to seeing that come out. Destiny, still not on PC. Still don't care.
Still don't care.
Well, I guess we're gonna skip over some announcement that we're gonna talk about later, and then get into what was kind of a weird business thing, the Shenmue 3 and its Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You know, like, was just, I don't, like, obviously, I didn't play, you know, I didn't have a Dreamcast, nor did I play when it was released on Xbox. So like I just don't I don't know if I get it, you know.
Right. I'm interested in the product. I mean, obviously by now, I guess it's not, you know, but it has been funded by now.
So yeah, I just brought it up and I checked, and it is of its $2 million goal with 20 days left to go. It is currently at about a little over 3,700,000.
Right.
So you know, it's going to happen. But of course, like one of the reasons that there never was a Shenmue 3 in the first place was because it was so fucking expensive to make the first two, and they didn't do well enough, I think, to justify it. So I guess I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm curious. Like I'm curious because it clearly
I'm not a Shenmue fan, really. I didn't play Shenmue 2, but I'd play it. I love that sort of game. That's just sort of that's my speed exactly. You know?
Clearly it was a religious experience for some people.
Yeah.
And like I might just, I don't know, instead of having our logo for this, like I might just put up that photo of that white guy who just like is like praising Christ in the audience. Like,
I'm actually surprised we saw a guy like that for that announcement and not for one we'll talk about later. But
well, it could have been a cumulative effect, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it sounds like, I mean, I think you said what you're gonna say, and
what you mean about Shenmue?
Yeah.
Well, I just, you know, the thing about Shenmue is that I think when you talk about Shenmue, you really talk about the, like, oh, you know, it was ahead of its time, and in regards to the sort of gameplay experience that it was, and it's a novel sort of narrative experience.
Yeah.
It just feels like when you go back and play it, and in practice, it doesn't feel like a good game. Like it feels like weird, you know. It's like half of a game that you would play nowadays. Like it feels like half of an Uncharted game, kind of.
Right.
But I like it, and I'd be interested to see how it transitions into a modern sort of like, you know, like a modern sort of release, especially with a Kickstarter, especially without like men with clipboards. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, though, I mean, these big productions, Bloodstained, Shenmue 3, I mean, the lion's share of the funding is not coming from the Kickstarter.
Right.
So like I don't know how the mixed funding affects the creative control.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about it because it wasn't really a gameplay trailer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, did you watch the trailer on the Kickstarter?
Yeah, but wasn't that just gameplay footage from the other two Shenmues?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, it was just him talking about it.
Right.
It was just like, okay. Speaking of series that aren't gonna get forgiven, I don't think I'm ever gonna play an Arkham game again.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Especially Arkham Knight, because it's like whenever I see the footage of it, it's like Batman tank rolling down the street blowing shit up, and I'm like, this is what? What is going on?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about something controversial here.
Oh, controversy.
Yeah,
I love controversy.
I think there's a lot of talk about people who are tired of superheroes.
Okay.
Who are overwhelmed with the amount of superheroes that are going on in media right now.
Yeah.
I'm not. I love superheroes. Superheroes are great. However, having said that, I am done with Batman. I'm done. I think Batman is boring. I think that he is an interesting character that has been ruined by the Nolan movies.
Yeah, no.
Which have created this sort of perception that Batman has to be a certain kind of way. I think that the character is... it's gotten to a point, and I think this is telling, where I think that Superman is a more interesting character than Batman, which I think is telling. Because years ago, I would have told you, like, Superman is the most boring character you could get. Like, how could a character that powerful be interesting? And Superman, to me, at least in a narrative point of view, is way more interesting than Batman. Batman is kind of when you examine him, really, is kind of a reprehensible guy, and not really, like, you know. And that's what sucks about it, is that we've insisted on making Batman exist in this reality rather than the comic book world in which he belongs, and so you can't even enjoy him because you have to look at him from a realistic, gritty Frank Miller perspective. And like, anyway, Arkham Knight, I think, is the avatar of that.
Yeah.
Where it looks like they've just gone off the deep end. It has to be badass. It has to be like rated R Batman. Like this one, the big thing with this one is how it's rated M, and it's really like brutal and like, I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah.
My
eyes are rolling.
Like I don't know. That's just not the Batman that I like. It's not my Batman. It's and to the point of where I'm just tired of Batman. In fiction now, I'm tired of seeing Batman show up and like solve the problem by being Batman. Like it's because now it's become a sort of, okay. And I'm not talking about E3 anymore. So let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Arkham Knight, get out of here.
Boom.
Apparently there was a VR thing about Project Morpheus or something. Whatever. I don't like VR. We already talked about how we don't like VR.
Don't care.
I thought it was very interesting that Sony apparently is trying to get to break into the TV cable box. I'm curious as an experiment how that's going to go. It's not something that I would get because I don't really like getting involved in subscription TV. No. But certainly anything that is a la carte TV and that would further break up things is fine by me. The next thing is a series that I would totally play the shit out of if it was ever on sale for a reasonable price, and that is the Call of Duty series. Like, they're not great games. I mean, they're not games with the vision in the way that a BioShock game is. They're just kind of, you know, playable, serviceable, fun first-person shooter games. But Activision, which is like a horrible, evil group of people, you know, apparently think that the original Call of Duty on PC should never be less than $10. And that is a joke. That is a horrible, horrible joke. And you should feel bad about yourself if you think that. So, you know, if I really wanted to play these games, I guess I could, you know, actually spend the time and money. But as, you know, I think we both said before, our time is valuable, and we are going to prioritize appropriately.
Well, as soon as you said Call of Duty, I just started hearing this loud buzzing noise.
Yeah, I thought so.
And so I just sort of I did not catch pretty much anything you just said, but
I think the stigma around Call of Duty is kind of silly. It smells to me a lot like something awful, people shitting on something because they're too cool for it. I do see it's kind of bro-y, but like, I don't know, whatever. People see Michael Bay movies, I don't know. But the Star Wars playset bullshit, what was that even about? Do you know what that was about?
That's like
Lego Star Wars or something? I don't know.
Attempts to sort of cash in on the sort of Skylanders thing.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. We'll talk about that more when we get to some other people who made a product like that.
Well, I feel like a hypocrite because I do like those. I think if we're talking about the same thing, I do like those.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4. 2 was a great game. I borrowed someone's PS3 to play it. 1 and 3, I watched some playthroughs of. I don't know. Uncharted 4 is the sort of game where if I actually went in on the PS4, it would probably be one of the games that I would get. But it's not the game that's going to make me get a PS4.
Nope. I think I agree with pretty much all of that you just said. I do have a PS3. That is the hashtag laser machine.
It's true.
I have not played any of the Uncharted's, though. I probably should. They're probably cheap enough by now. Or may know people who might own them. But even so, I don't know.
I mean, in terms of evaluating whether or not you would want to play an Uncharted game, you basically have to ask yourself would I want to play an Indiana Jones video game? Because the Uncharted games are the best Indiana Jones video games that will probably ever be made.
Right, yeah, right. I just don't know. I don't know. They look cool. They look fun. I just don't know. It doesn't contain anything that immediately screams like, you know, check this out. You know, it's in a, you know, gosh, I feel like I'm revealing so much about my tastes. Like, shallow and petty. It's just like,
don't worry, we're getting to your favorite conference next.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting to my stuff, but like, it just doesn't it doesn't seem interesting to me. Just from the outset, like it doesn't like. They've always seemed fun. Like when I watch the gameplay, it seems fun. It just like this. I don't know. It's just not over the top enough, I guess. I know you fight a Yeti in one. That's pretty cool.
That's the least fun part of that game, though. That was so annoying. Like, that was just so annoying in Uncharted 2. That was kind of when the game stopped being fun.
I guess for me, it's just a thing of like, it just looks like, you know what I was thinking when I was, this is what immediately reminded me of when I was watching the trailer. Did you play Last of Us?
On YouTube.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I did play The Last of Us, and I thought The Last of Us was one of those games where I was like, wow, I really don't get what the big fuss is about. But after playing The Last of Us, I was like, I bet you I would like the Uncharted games more, because at least the Uncharted games, like it's just all this. It's not like
the Uncharted games are more about having Indiana Jones fun, whereas Last of Us was much more post-apocalyptic.
Right. It was
this shit's brutal.
It was trying to replicate a type of scenario.
Yeah.
And that it just so happened The Last of Us type of scenario is one I couldn't give more.
Right. It's not really where you want to be.
The zombie thing I'm not a big fan of. It is no.
You're not a fun guy.
No.